Recently Alstimi took me out with her friends for a weekend away, all expenses paid kind of weekend. So as we were there, I was the baby of the group, right? So they are the ladies in their 40s, and there was just a lot of wisdom around me, and it's just the time that I'll always cherish, right? But there was a moment, a full circle moment that happened for me there. I remember it was a Saturday evening. We were sitting after, enjoying the gifts that else to me again. We were celebrating her birthday, but she gave us gifts. After all of that emotional time, one of the ladies asked me, "So what do you do? What work do you do, Pula?" I said, "You know what? I'm not employed right now. I'm at home." And then I kept quiet. And then Ostimi said, "No, but please tell her that you're studying." Like, oh, but she didn't ask me that. She asked me, what work am I doing? So I said, I'm not working, I'm at home. They're like, okay, so you're studying? I'm like, yeah, I'm studying. So the reason why that moment for me was so special, it's a full circle moment. It's because I remember a time when I started this journey, when somebody would have asked me, what do you do? I would be the first to offer the fact that, I'm a full-time student, because people heard that, I left my job, and it didn't make sense for me to say to people, I left my job because I wanted to start a Pulaa Montz brand. It just didn't have weight, right? I just felt like people would judge me. So there was something that had weight, was for me to tell people I'm a student. I would offer this information without anybody asking me. But as I was reflecting on my journey right now, I remembered that moment when we were away on a ladies' weekend away, right? And I remembered that actually that was a full circle moment for me, because for the first time I was comfortable with people knowing that I'm not employed. And I didn't need a reason to give them for why I'm not employed, why I'm not working, right? It felt like such a special moment when I remembered it, because I started recognizing the work that God has been doing on the inside of me. I see it every day, but when I reach these full circle moments, then it is evidence to me that there has been some work that has been going on the inside. And I've realized that when God is building or rebuilding your life, the first stage of that building is on the inside. And we need to get to a space where we are comfortable with inner growth without external evidence, for peace sake. So today I want to talk to you about be comfortable with inner growth without external evidence, for peace sake. I am Pulaa Montz, your inner voice magnified. You know, I realize that there is that moment in our growth, or when God is building something in us, or is rebuilding our lives, where we find ourselves wanting to show that we have progress, and that is at the beginning of what the work that God is doing, right? We want to show people that I am I've just left this relationship and I'm flourishing. I'm already body goals right now. I already have a better career. I already bought a house. That guy or that girl was actually tying me down. We want to do all of these things to show that there is progress. Actually trying more so to prove, to your previous partner that you are excelling without them, right? Or when you get retrenched and you want to quickly find a job, you are all over the place because you're trying to prove to your employer that they lost a good employee in you, right? We don't allow God to do the work that he wants to do in us first, as a foundation that he's building for what he's trying to give you, the new life that he's trying to give you, right? We are so consumed with what people think of us, because remember, at a stage where God is doing work first on the inside. Remember when you've broken up with somebody, or you're going through a process of divorce, or you've just completed a divorce, or you quit your job because you were hoping to start this business, and all of a sudden you know that people and the eyes are on you, and you're so consumed with what people will think about you. Why did she leave the marriage? Look at how she's suffering right now. Why did she leave that relationship? I mean, that guy was paying her school fees. Why did she leave her job without this business demanding anything out of her, right? So we get so consumed with what people think about us, and we want to prove to people at the same time that actually it was a good decision that I made. Look how I'm flourishing right now. But God is never having such an attitude, right? God wants you to be comfortable with inner growth without external evidence, because when you get consumed with what people are saying about you, you start acting from a point of proving a point, not acting from obedience to God, right? So it is important that we focus on God when He starts rebuilding our lives, or when He's building something new. It is important to keep our focus on the promises of God, on the vision that He gave you, on God's face, because when people are talking, sometimes I understand it is very difficult to ignore some of these people, because some of them, they won't even they won't even gossip about you. They will come tell you straight that you were stupid to make that mistake. So when you hear more and more people coming and telling you that, it can be difficult to just ignore it. So it is important to always keep your focus on God. Keep your focus on the promises. Keep your focus on the internal work that you're doing, because ultimately, if you don't pay attention to the work that God is doing, you will miss it, and you will quickly go into a relationship, or you will quit your job. You will quit your business and try and find a job again, because you're just trying to prove that there's work that is happening. And in doing that, you're actually going back to that cycle that you initially said you didn't want, right? So be comfortable with the work that God is doing, even though to other people it looks like there's no growth, like you're stagnant, right? Be comfortable knowing that there is something that God is working. There is a foundation that God is doing in you, right? Look at the construction side. Developers will see a plain land, a land that is messed up, a land that is filthy, right? And they will buy it because they've got a vision for this land. A place where some of us would just drive through every day and see there's nothing. It's just empty, dirty land. A developer is able to see beyond all this chaos, and they buy the land, and they are comfortable enough to start cleaning, having contractors clean the area. You would be sitting and thinking, what are they doing? This is an empty, dirty land. What are they trying to do? Developers are not worried about what we think of them, because they know the vision of this empty land, right? So they are comfortable with that stage where they are still cleaning out the area. They're still building the foundation. Ultimately, when people are building the foundation, we don't get to see the foundation. We still ask ourselves, what are they doing, right? But they know what they're doing, and they know that when they take time building this foundation properly, then whatever it is that they will put on top of this foundation will last forever, right? That is the intention. So that's exactly how God works. To other people, you might look crazy. It is okay. It is okay. That is what purpose does. It separates you from the opinions of other people, or minding the opinions of other people. It teaches you to really focus on God. And that is how God starts building things on you. And that is how you start seeing the growth in you. That is how you start noticing the full circle moments, because now you see, oh my gosh, I used to be such a defensive person at the beginning of this rebuilding, but now I've grown in this process. I'm comfortable, I'm relaxed, I'm starting to deal with the issues that are on the inside of me first before I jump into the next thing, right? Just to prove to other people that I'm succeeding in this new journey that I've taken. So I just wanted to remind you, be comfortable with inner growth without external evidence, for peace sake. I am Pulaa Montz, your inner peace and purpose coach.